Hey, 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 everybody. Hey, everyone. Yes, it's me. The time has come.
Miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness.
You hear that?
Declare it and say it.
Promise keep light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
Everybody, let's say it.
I don't
Say
own the rights to this song.
waymaker.
That's what everybody says when they
You
cover or play someone else's music. So I just I'll make sure I put that out there. I like Miranda Curtis' version the best. Yep, I'm about to share my testimony. Now is as good a time as any. Turn lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. All right. So many of you may be wondering why I'm always singing that song. Some of you probably like, I know why she's singing that song. Some of you are like, I don't even know that song, never heard that song. Well, the name of the song is Waymaker. I'm not sure who the original artist is, but I do prefer the Miranda Curtis version. All right, so basically that song ministers to me even right now, today. And I am holding back a little bit because I'm trying to stay focused on the purpose and the objective today. For today, Worthy Wednesday, I want to reveal to you all the reason why God is worthy to me. There's so many reasons, but the most recent reason why He's a waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, literally light in the darkness for me. Due to the fact, and I'm just going to cut right to the chase, some of you are my followers as far as my blog, which is below. If you have not logged on and you have not followed my inspirational blog, it is below. Please click on it. Please read through it. I am going to need to probably upload this video, but also, update the readers about what's taken place and what God has done. So let me just cut to the chase. I don't want to be on here long, but God is my waymaker, and that is my heart song because March of 2017 was the day that changed my life forever. Some of you know, like I said, who's following me, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. March 2017. It is now April 2020. And God has done something that, I'm not amazed because I know He's a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. But the reason why I'm so amazed is because of Him trusting me to do what it is that I have done. And I have not done it. Please don't mistake the fact that I have not done it in my own strength and power. But if you know the story about my brother Job in the Bible, if you don't, please read it. I'll also provide that in the details down below. Job went through And to make a long story short, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, something I never even could have imagined, right after, well, not right after, but close to a year after I had our daughter. Went through a lot. Not a lot, but I went through insomnia while I was pregnant with my daughter. And God delivered me from that. But not too soon after He delivered me from anxiety and insomnia, I find a lump in my breast. I found it actually under my arm area. I found it, went to the doctor. They confirmed that it was breast cancer. So, believing and trusting God, I was like, okay. It hit me on top of the head like a ton of bricks, but I was just like, okay, Lord, because of what He had already gotten me through, divorce and, like I said, anxiety, insomnia, all of that. Even prior to that, a heart condition that they had diagnosed me with several years ago. But at any rate, I was just like, okay, Lord, all right, I trust you. I say I trust you, so I'm going to trust you through this. But the way that I wanted to trust God was not the way that what He had in mind. I trusted Him as a healer. So I was like, okay, God is going to heal me and I'm going to be healed from this. I'm not going to need any of the recommendations from the doctors. I'm not going to need chemotherapy. I'm not going to need radiation, surgery, all of that. I am going to take care of this. Somewhat, I was thinking my way, but I was also thinking God's way, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, He's my healer, so He can heal me. Not thinking that He could use doctors and medicine to heal me. I wanted Him to heal me without having to go through that, because of course you hear the stories. You hear, for one, the hair. So I didn't want to lose my hair. I did not want to have to go through the symptoms of going through the chemo and all of that. So I was like, oh no, I don't want to go through that. But guess what? I did initially. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. The people who loved me, my husband, for instance, come on, let's just do it. So I did go through, back in 2017, I did go through one session of chemo. And this is going to be a series of testimonies. I'm just going to kind of sum everything up here, but I'm going to kind of go through in more detail, just in case there's someone out there that's gone through or are going through or may go through, and they can refer back to these videos, the same thing. But so I went through one session of chemo, and that chemo was so powerful that I just decided I'm not doing this anymore. As strong as I am, as I thought I was, or I think I am, and I believe that I had a high threshold for pain and all of that. So I was like, no, I can't go through this. I can't let my body go through this poison going through my body. I was the one who never really liked to take medicine. I mean, I can count on one hand before this how many times I've probably taken medicine in my life. I'd rather suffer through something, which I never really had to do that. I never really had to suffer through. I was in basically phenomenal health, not allergic to anything, all that good stuff that I knew of, but I can get to that later. So I was like, chemo? If I won't even take an aspirin for a headache, why would I want to take some chemo? All right, again, most of you know that is one of the most strongest, and I mean, it's going throughout your entire body to the point where it's killing, not only supposedly killing the cancer cells, but it's also killing other cells, such as the hair. That was just why people who have cancer lose their hair. Some people, now I've heard of some people not. So I guess it just depends on the regime, or the I guess I'll call it cocktail of the chemo. because there are some people who have been on chemo and they did not lose their hair. Well, I lost my hair, and surprisingly, in that first session of chemo, the doctors said that they didn't think that it would come out that fast, but it did. So those of you who may know me, you may have noticed at 1 minute I'm wearing my loving dreads that I miss, locks, whatever you want to call them. I miss my hair. I missed my hair. But I had my locks 1 minute, and then the next minute they started coming out. So I had my husband, go ahead and shave my head. My stylist, um, and so um, that was a pretty big blow. Not that I was attached to my hair, but I was just excited about the fact that I had done it because I had my hair natural, and all that good stuff. So I just locked my hair, and it had gotten pretty long, pretty kind of down to round about here, and just imagine, being able to just pull your hair out. I don't know if anybody has that testimony about their hair not being strong, but this was not. My hair has always been thick. My mom used to fuss at the fact that my hair was so thick, but my hair has always been thick and pretty much kind of long. But to just be able to just, and I mean, with very little effort, to just pulling it out, that really was a strong blow. But I had been told about it, so I was like, okay. So my husband cut it for me, and it looked pretty much like this. When it was bald, hair is actually growing back now, but which is one of the reasons why I was at peace and praying about doing this, and when it was the perfect timing. So it was hot. The summertime, me in a wig. I mean, I appreciate the wigs, I appreciate the hair, and I'm not throwing shade to people who wear them on a regular, but it was just hot to the point where when it gets too hot, I don't care if I'm even in my car, I snatch that wig right off and throw it in the seat next to me. But so that was kind of one of the motivations for me. I was planning on, of course, doing a video, but I was like, you know what? Okay, Lord, is it time? I kind of asked someone very special in my life, a couple people that's very special in my life, do you think this is a good time with all that's going on with the plague and everything, this coronavirus and COVID-19? But why not? So it could bless someone's life. So that's, even if it's just one person, if I'm able to touch or bless or help to, transform or deliver one person, then the job is done there. But anyway, so hair was coming out. So, and I had it in my mind. Again, remember, not liking medicine to taking medicine, and then to see the effects of it. I didn't really have, my body did ache like they said it would, like I had been run over by an 18-wheeler, bones, because the medication that the chemo, again, it's attacking the cancer cells, but there's also the medicines that they have to put in your body to help your body to not just give out. So there was a medicine that was given to me that went into my, I believe into the bones, if I'm not mistaken, to help the white blood cells. And so that was the one that kind of puts you on your back, because it's like, ugh, and I had never experienced any of this before. Like I said, if I have a headache or something, I just kind of use a compress, or I will just kind of, pray through it. But, so I was like, oh no, and I was like, Lord, is this what you want from me? I just felt so out of place there as well. A lot of people that were older than me were in there. I felt like I was one of the youngest people in there. And so cancer doesn't have an age. It doesn't have a race attached to it. But I just had determined I was not going through that. I was like, my God is a healer, so I'm just going to be healed. I'm going to change my diet. Yes, I will. I will do that. So I started going to the plant-based diet and drinking. A friend of mine friend of the family. I won't name any names because I just hadn't gotten their permission to use their name. So if they allow me, I'll share their names later. But they had introduced me to an alkaline machine, that helps to stabilize the acid in your body because it was told to me that the acids in your body can lead to the different diseases and sicknesses that we encounter. Allergies can lead to the sicknesses and illnesses that we encounter at any rate. So I was like, I'm going to do this my way. Basically, I was doing it my way. But on the other hand, I also was like, okay, Lord, I just felt like, but how many of you know sometimes you can want a thing so much, and don't get me wrong, this was cancer we're talking about here. This wasn't any, just light, sickness here. This was one of those sicknesses, diseases that has led to death for some people. So this wasn't like I was playing around. I had everything to live for. I had just, gotten married a couple years prior, just had a child, I had my son, I had my family, my loved ones, my parents, I had everything and have everything to live for. So it wasn't like I was just like giving up. No, I was just like, God is going to heal me, and he's going to heal me just miraculously. He's going to, all I have to do is touch the hem of his garment, and so I was just, in expectation of him healing me the way that God can heal. But how many of you know God can heal in other ways as well? I found that out because long story short, and like I said, I will definitely take you through this journey. I guess I'm going to go from a blogger to a vlogger, but I am going to share with you, a little bit more details of what I went through because I'm ready. I'm ready to share it. But to summarize everything, I found out that doing it my way was not the way God had planned for me. And I'll talk about that more later. God does things in mysterious ways, they all say, but I just know that he is a man of his word. So if I say that I'm healed, I am healed. Yes, I am. But it's just a matter of how God was going to do it. All right. The woman with the issue of blood, she got healed her way. The blind Bartimaeus, he was healed his way. Susie Q was healed her way. Dapper Don over here is healed his way. Michelle Wiggins is healed her way. You are going to be healed, or you are healed your way. So we're not always going to take the same journeys in our healing and the manifestation of our healing. So many people were praying for me. I was trying to get through this. So not everybody knew. There might be people that's watching here that may be in my circle that may not have even known. I don't know. People at my church that may not have known. I don't know. I did kind of share it. I've shared parts of my testimony, but like I said, that was 2017. And depending upon what type of treatment you have, this is 2020. So a lot of things have happened between that then and now. So long story short, again, is that God dealt with me and he was like, nope. I was doing it my way. I thought that I heard the cadence of God saying, you can trust me. Go ahead and just, I'm going to heal you, supernaturally, miraculously by just, bam, and God is not a musician, but his word is true. And not to say that as soon as I said I'm healed, that I wasn't going to be healed. Because how many of you know his word is clear? His son Jesus was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. With his stripes, we are healed. I believe it's 1 Peter that talks about we were healed. So we may be going through some things, but we're already healed. We may sometimes have to go through, the journey, the road. But in the end, we will be healed, whatever his word says, if we believe it and we trust him. Even like now, through this pandemic, if we trust God and know that he never leaves us nor forsakes us, then, yeah, we can see this, we hear that, but we need to stay focused on trusting God. What did God say? All right. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor seed begging for bread. Anything we ask according to his word, he hears us. All right, so we just have to trust him. So I trusted him. I think I'm going to end here. I trusted God. I eventually finally trusted God. And I went through, actually, so this is 2020. So September of 2019, I did it. I did something that I never would have thought would have ever done. And I went through what the doctor recommended. I went through the sessions of chemo. Whew. And I made it. I made it, and you can do it too. It may not be cancer. It may not be any, medical sickness or illness or disease. It may be something else. Trust God. Keep your hand in his hand and let him lead the way. Listen. Yes, I prayed. Yes, I fasted. Yes, I consecrated. Because this was huge. This wasn't just some, not belittling any of the other things that God got me through. Yes, the divorce was huge for me. That was a lot. I was, I went through insomnia, not being able to sleep. I went through that twice. When you're pregnant, that's not something you want to do because you don't want to, and then you're working and you're trying to go through your daily life and not getting any sleep. None. Maybe an hour or so. And that's only because you broke down and finally took some sleeping pills. I'm that one that was not taking medicine, not even when I gave birth to my children. I was like, no, I don't want to take any medicine. I don't want it to affect me and definitely don't want it to affect my children. Those of us who've had a baby, we know how much pain we are in. All right. And so that was crazy. If I had it to do over, would I take medicine? I don't know. Probably. Because I'm trusting God. And if I'm trusting God, he's not going to allow the medicine to do whatever those horrible symptoms that you've heard and hear to overcome you or overwhelm you. Yes, one of the symptoms was losing my hair. Yes, one of the symptoms caused my fingernails to turn black and my toenails to turn black, and numbness and tingling and the aches and the itchy skin and some of those things. But I've heard so much more worse. I have heard much more worse stories. But the point is that God got me through it. And so I am able to share my testimony. And I'm ready. So this was just the beginning. So as I've said, it's more than just makeup. I became an independent beauty consultant here the end of last year. And God gave that to me. It's more than just makeup because everybody doesn't wear makeup. But if you do, on a not so serious note, with all that I have said, I'm moving forward. So if you like what you see here, I have the links below. Please click on them. But please, even more so even than that, subscribe to my channel. Just hit that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel so you can hear more of my story, so that you can subscribe and share it with others. Because how many of you know that we go through things? A testimony is a test to see what you're going to do So that when God gets you through, you're to share it with someone else who may need you. So until next time, it's more than just makeup. Love you.